get that when you take that.
I want to call this meeting of the New Hanover County Board of Education to order. If everyone would please stand for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. All right, if you'd please bow your heads. Gracious and merciful God, we come before you tonight to ask your blessings on this body. We pray for guidance and clarity of thought and action, that all we do may serve the interest of the students, teachers, staff, and administrators of the New Hanover County School District. Bless the members of this board and everyone who has come tonight to be part of this process. We pray for our country, our president, and all those who serve to make the United States a great and proud country. We especially ask your loving mercy for all those affected by Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. Comfort and guide them and the leaders of the states and federal governments as they seek to provide comfort and shelter during the times of need. Encourage our population to unite in their support. We pray for those serving our country in the military. Be with them and grant them safety. Be with the families and watch over them while their loved ones are away. Tonight, we also remember the loss of 9/11, when this country was attacked. Help us never to forget that terrible day. Comfort those who lost loved ones on that day and who continue to lose loved ones from the after effects of that day. These things we pray, we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Order, scholars. Oast, scholars. Ace. Child information. Forward. Arch.
Everyone may be seated. I want to thank the Ashley Eagle Ensemble for their rendition of the national anthem. Very beautifully done. From Ashley, Principal Patrick Carty, and Instructor Jennifer Shigeru. Somebody got a microphone? Okay, if y'all would just start down the line, introduce yourself, tell us what grade you are.
I'm Elena Blackwelder, and I'm a junior.
I'm Reagan Blackburn, and I'm a junior.
I'm Sydney Hesmer, and I'm a junior.
I'm Brianna Cunliffe, I'm a senior.
I'm Danielle Mark, I'm a senior.
I'm Aislinn Loudon, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Emma Holt, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Nora Mark, and I'm a senior.
I'm Jen Hewer, and I'm a senior.
I'm Nathan Kinsey, I'm a senior.
I'm Will Mercer, and I'm a junior.
I'm Reed Sampson, and I'm a junior.
I'm Easton Anderson, and I'm a junior.
I'm Harrison Smith Martin, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Larson Blazik, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jake Guzman, and I'm a sophomore.
Again, thank y'all for being here tonight. Our honor guard is also from Eugene Ashley High School. Chief Thomas Frost and Lieutenant Commander Robert Reeder. Jeez, I'm sorry, I apologize. I guess it's Lieutenant Colonel, is it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't in the military, but anyway, yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. If y'all would come forward and introduce yourself, and they always like to know what rank you are in the ROTC.
Cadet Petty Officer Grayson Berry, and I am a sophomore.
Cadet Petty Officer Jacob Clinton, I'm a junior.
Cadet Petty Officer Cody Giles, I'm a junior.
Cadet Petty Officer Jessica Romero, and I'm a senior.
Thank you. Ms. Adams, would you call the roll, please?
Edward B. Higgins.
Here.
Jeanette S. Nichols.
Here.
Janice A. Kavanaugh.
Here.
Lisa Easted.
Here.
Donald S. Hayes.
Here.
Bruce T. Shell.
Here.
David L. Wortman.
Here. You have before you the agenda. I think there is a desire to move one of the items up.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, you can move item A under information after call to the audience and before administrative recommendations.
Okay.
We have our guests from Cape Fear, and I always encourage folks to stay for our meetings. We're going to move them up to a little higher up the agenda.
Very good. Anything else?
No other changes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It is approved. Next item on the agenda, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 1, 2017, and a special meeting August 15, 2017. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Next item on the agenda, recognition of achievement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we would like to highlight for the board one of our strongest and longest community partnerships. GE Hitachi Nuclear Energy supports many of our schools, but they have especially been supportive of Rachel Freeman School of Engineering. With a focus on science, GE's willingness to partner with Freeman is a natural fit. So here tonight to tell you more about the role they play as one of our greatest community partners, I would like to invite Carol Kaneki and Leah Kreider from GE, and also our principal of Freeman, Ms. Susan Sellers. Would you please come forward and tell us all about what you're doing?
So the partnership has been with Rachel Freeman longer than I have been with Rachel Freeman. This is my 3rd year at Rachel Freeman, and from what I understand, this is the 10th year, or maybe longer, of the partnership with GE. And as Valita said, it's just a natural fit for what they do and what we aspire to do. And we just so appreciate their fiscal resources and their human resources and the things that they bring to our school. This is our STEM coordinator, Miss Jan Rickey, who is their primary point of contact and has worked very closely with them as well. So we just thank you and look forward to being able to highlight this partnership tonight.
Thank you very much. My name is Leah Kreider, and I'm the Education Chair for our local GE Volunteers Council. And up here with me, I've got Carol Konecki. Carol is our Vice Chair, and I'm going to have a tendency to step away from the microphone, so I apologize for that. But I am loud, so most of you can hear me. I'd also like to recognize Julie Hawkins, John McLam, and John Allen, who are all also a big part of making our volunteer programs and partnerships work. All right, I see it. Magic. So GE Volunteers is a GE corporate initiative, and its general mission is to facilitate and support volunteering activities that improve life in the communities where people live and work. And a big part of that has been building some of our local partnerships. We've got 4 main focus areas: education, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail. This thing is really sensitive. I'm going to put that down. Okay. The environmental aspects, if you see us out there posting bird boxes or building oyster reefs, I am not touching that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The poltergeist. We also do some community development work, and that can range from anything to helping with food and shelter or helping with food and shelter for our animal friends. And then our 4th area is health, and sometimes that plays more directly into what we see in the schools. This is our fun statistics slide, one of a couple. The biggest takeaway here is that our big piece of the pie, a lot of that is education. We spend a lot of our time and effort particularly focused on science, technology, engineering, and math, because we're a technology company, but it can also include anything related to literacy, reading, or the arts as well. So since 2006, we've recorded over 60,000 hours of people labor doing something that we hope was good. Here in this area, you can see we've had a lot of events that supported the schools, and most of those have focused in New Hanover County. So I'll talk a little bit more about Rachel Freeman specifically, but first I just wanted to talk through, you can see Wrightsboro and Rachel Freeman, as well as New Hanover High School, have the biggest frequency of things that we're out doing in the community. And we've also been a big part of Hands on Wilmington or Work on Wilmington, which are Chamber of Commerce programs. And through those, it's a one-day event, 4 hours on a Saturday morning, and it's building outdoor classrooms, painting locker rooms, painting murals on the wall in the cafeteria. That one's a lot more fun than the other ones. And just trying to give those schools a little bit of an extra lift. In terms of education and support in the schools, you see a lot of these come up more specifically when I get to the slide that focuses on Rachel Freeman. But different tutoring programs, judging senior projects across the school system, showing up at career days, teaching kids to be a little bit more healthy, which is something we do in June at Rachel Freeman. Coaching Science Olympiad, working with Junior Achievement, partnering with communities and schools for some of their programs and helping make those happen. So some of our fiscal partnerships, a lot of these flow down more from the corporate level of GE, and they have evolved over time. So way back in 1995 and 2002, We had these college-bound programs that were GE corporate initiatives, and we brought those here locally to Wrightsboro, Freeman, Chask, Virgo, Laney, and New Hanover High School. Over time, those have evolved into various kinds of grants that were available. Some of them we were able to develop our own programs and write in for, and others have been more specific. The most recent instance were GE additive programs. Does everyone know 3D printing? You design something in a computer program, you push a button, and you get it in plastic like an hour or two later. Really cool. We like to try to get it in metal. I'm going to break this. I'm very determined. And so that's one of the more recent ones that we've been able to provide. So specifically with Rachel Freeman, this partnership goes back also before my time, and I've been the education chair for 10 years, so that's saying something if none of us remember when it started. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the really fun events that we've been able to participate in and are really thankful for, and hope the students were able to take something away from. So I'm going to start with one that John was one of the great minds behind. So we had some folks that said, hey, there's these really cool robots you can make with Legos. And they've got a control system all designed in them, and all you have to do is build them. So instead of just building robots that you could drive around, they built a competition course. So it's like battle bots, so the kids could drive them around and then try to beat the other robot. So they had all these great plans, and these engineers went home and they made this course in somebody's garage somewhere. And the kids just, your garage, yep. Kids just destroyed it. The next year they had to go home and start over because they didn't make it hard enough the first time. So that's a program that we've been doing repeatedly. The competition is really fun. We spend the 2 weeks before it spending some time in the classrooms. The students get a budget of basically Monopoly money, and they can pay the engineers that are volunteering for consulting, which I wish I made that kind of money. They pay you like $100 for 5 minutes. It's great. And I think the engineers have a lot of fun as well. Another one of my favorites is the Science and Technology Week. So Rachel Freeman does a great job of putting together a whole bunch of different events during that week. There's an Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader competition. There's presentations in the classroom. And my personal favorite is the egg drop competition. So I think everyone's seen this, right? You build some contraption to save your egg, and you drop it and see if it breaks. So they have a series of ladders. So you go up and you drop it from the 6-foot ladder. And you say, oh, look, mine made it. And they take it and they go up an 8-foot ladder. And I don't remember the exact heights. But after the last ladder, they brought in the fire truck. You have got to see these kids when they let go of their parachute contraption out of a milk carton from a fire truck ladder. It was awesome. I've never seen it before. Every school I talk to, I tell them that this is the coolest event I've ever seen. Last one that I want to highlight, we have a Be Healthy program that we've been doing with Rachel Freeman. It's great because it rolls around in the springtime in about June. We come in and talk to the kids about nutrition and healthy lifestyles and exercise, and we have a dance competition. So it's a great way to spend a little bit of time when maybe they are having trouble focusing on things that are not dance competitions and having fun. And so I think what's been great about working with Rachel Freeman is their openness to having volunteers in the classroom, bringing in some new ideas, letting us try some crazy things that have worked, and maybe a couple that I'm not highlighting because we're not going to try those again. Yes, I tell all the students I work with that part of engineering is failure. If you're not failing somehow, you're probably not doing it right. And so we really appreciate the opportunity to talk with all of you and hope to have a great school year this year.
Well, we just really appreciate GE's support at our school. And this next week coming up, I have 2 3D printers coming. And that was part of the grant that we applied for and received. So we're real excited and look forward to a continued relationship. Thank you.
On behalf of the school board, I want to take the opportunity to thank GE for what it does and what it has done and what it continues to do. If any of you have ever been to a graduation and heard me speak, you know that I cite Thomas Edison, who one time said, when asked about his 900 failures in trying to create the light bulb, he said, I haven't had a single failure. For every time it didn't work, I learned what did not work and what not to try again. So I appreciate what you had to say about that. And again, thank you to GE and to everybody at GE who participates, because volunteerism is what helps schools be successful. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the board for asking us to bring these partners, because it's so amazing to see what they actually do in our schools. So thank you for that. And thank you, GE, for being here tonight. And our last recognition for the evening, I'd like to ask Dr. Susan Hahn to come forward. We have a special recognition for our Educators of the Year. Dr. Hahn?
Thank you. I'm really pleased to be here tonight to put the spotlight on our Educators of the Year. As some of you may know, we had the banquet in June when we selected them, but their year of reigning is now. So we wanted to bring them up and let you meet them and just give you a little background. Each year we try to make this a very special event. Our community has supported our teachers with different prizes, awards, and even a car. So it is really an awesome event. One last thing that we have for our teachers who do such a great job with our students is to give them an opportunity to learn and grow a little bit further. So we give them a certificate tonight that allows them to attend a national conference anywhere in the United States. Well, there is a limit on the money, but a reasonable one. So they get to go and to learn what else is going on around the country outside of here in North Carolina. This gives them the opportunity to bring back what they learned and to share it with our students so that we can continue to be a premier school district. So I just want to call them up and we can give them a little round of applause and give them an opportunity to grow and learn and further enrich our students. So thank you to these teachers who do so much for us, both on the part of the school system and the board. Thank you. So our elementary teacher of the year from College Park is Victoria Minshew. Why don't you stay up here because I want to see if we can get a picture of all of them. Our middle school teacher of the year, Amber Adams Trask. Our high school and district educator of the year, Angela Hewitt, Ashley High School. And not to be forgotten, our principal of the year, Dr. Lauren Kefalitis. I'm going to get a group photo there. Thank you so much.
Next item on our agenda is the call to the audience. I would remind each speaker they're limited to no more than 3 minutes. While the board welcomes residents to share their views, as chairman, I retain the right to limit discussion on a particular topic when such comments become slanderous or personal in nature. Having said that, the first person that signed up is Samuel Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong?
I spoke with Mr. Armstrong today, and have arranged a meeting for him and myself and Mr. Peterson to meet and discuss some of his concerns. So I didn't know if he would be here tonight or not.
Okay. That's probably the better way to handle it. Thank you. Then the next person who has signed up is Ann York.
I'm going to really try hard to keep this to 3 minutes. Is this on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that I'm the chairperson of the New Hanover County Act So organization, which is a brand new organization. We had our first year of competition this past year. ACT-SO is the principal youth initiative of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. They've been doing it for 40 years across the country. Its mission is to promote academic and cultural excellence among high school students of African descent and to showcase their intellect and skills. And ACT-SO stands for Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. And it's a free academic mentoring and career enrichment program that helps students explore careers and compete in 32 different categories locally, and then the gold medal winners get to go to nationals. So we raised about $5,000 last year. We had 8 local competitors and 4 gold medal winners in the areas of short story, poetry, flute, health and medicine, drawing, and photography. And our students came from Laney, New Hanover, Bear Early College, Regular Early College, Cape Fear, and Cape Fear Academy. So that's what we did this last year. We took the people who win gold medals get to go to nationals, which were in Baltimore, which is an amazing experience for our students. I just wanted to let you know that we're just starting our 2nd year this year, and I would ask you to please let people know, or I brought a few flyers if there are some people who'd like to know about this. We're starting our organizational meeting for this year. Next year, nationals are in San Antonio, and that organizational meeting is this Saturday, September 16th at St. Stephen's AME Church at 2 o'clock. And you might want to know who I am, maybe. We've moved here recently. My husband and I, we retired, but we lived in North Carolina. I lived in North Carolina most of my life. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a longtime academic. Started my teaching career in the Jackson Public School System, teaching high school math and English and journalism, and then had a 30-year academic career in higher education, part of which I spent at UNC Chapel Hill in the business school. So thank you so much. We're so proud of these students, and any support that you can give us in terms of letting people know or helping find mentors and judges for our competition would be just awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. As Dr. Markley said, we have invited guests tonight from Cape Fear Community College. The New Hanover County Schools Board is permitted to appoint 4 members to the Board of Trustees at Cape Fear Community College. And as they will tell you, we try to explore the people we're appointing. We just don't pick people out of the hat. So these are individuals who have served the community college well. We hear wonderful things about you, but we have asked that you come, and a couple of things. We want to recognize you, but we also want you to share with us some of the things that you have found about being a member of the Board of Trustees at Cape Fear Community College. So if y'all would come forward, we would appreciate it. Yeah, well, y'all can all come at the same time, however y'all want to do it.
You can call them up individually so the public will know who.
Okay, we'll call you up individually. All right, then I'm gonna start.
Start with Mr. Turner since he's already
All
out.
right, since Mr. Turner, let me get my because we also have a certificate for you. Mr. William Turner.
You get to come first.
Mr. Turner. Well, first off, I want to present you with a certificate. We want to take a picture of it. Thank you.
Did you get it?
First of all, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, we want to thank you to inviting us to this activity. I think this should happen yearly. I think it's something that we ought to start doing. And then also at the community college, I think at one time we were having a luncheon, and I think we need to do that again so you can keep up with K-Fear.
We're available anytime.
Okay. K-Fear is growing very quickly. And when I was called to come, I wasn't aware at first that all of us are going to be here. So I was trying to put something together to let you all know what's going on. Then when I found out the rest was coming, I said, well, we'll break it down real quickly. So we're going to give you a Cape Fear Community College quick facts about what's going on. And I'm glad you're sitting down because you probably won't believe some of the figures. Cape Fear has an annual employment of students of 23,684. We have 146 academic programs. We have 596 full-time faculty and staff, 533 part-time, and the ratio of faculty is 13:1, and that's pretty good. Right now, we rank 6th largest community college in North Carolina out of the 58, but I'm projecting that with the new programs that we have started, that end of this year, we'll probably rank number 5 in North Carolina. The average age is 24 years of age. There's 55% females, 45% males, and 72% of all the curriculum students live in New Hanover and Pender County. We give over 500 scholarships for students at Cape Fear Community College. The dental hygienists, EMT, practical nursing, registered nursing, surgical technology, 100% passing on the state exam and 100% of employment. I think we rank number 1 in the state as far as the registered nurses compared to Duke, Carolina, and all these other schools. Cape Fear ranks number 1. We have a lot of new programs being established. You may hear about it in a minute. Vet Tech, you'll hear about that. We're starting Vet Tech as of this couple of weeks ago. Emergency management, associate degree in engineering, nurse's aide. Continuing education, we have approximately about 150 teachers, and I think they serve about 12,000 students. That says an awful lot, folks. We have customized training. When we built the new facilities at the North Campus, we have about 4 to 6 rooms of flex space, which means it's empty. So if GE or another company said, I need training on a certain area, we can go in there and set that room up and start the training right away. Small business, as you know, we have a lot of programs going on. Small business, you'll hear about the high school in a few minutes. The Wilson Center. I know you've all heard about the Wilson Center. At the present time, we have paid to the state in sales tax $324,000, and just the people attending the Fine Arts Center. Tickets, every county in North Carolina, somebody from that county has bought tickets. We have approximately 700 to 800 volunteers. As you know, we couldn't do these shows without volunteers. There's a lineup of people wanting to be a volunteer. As you know, we've opened up a new building at the North Campus, the Advantage in Emerging Technology, 74,000 square feet. Vet Tech, 23,000 square feet. The Heat Building, 30,000 square feet. And the classroom. And the key thing is that I've been working on real hard for many years. The Swartz Center. It's a nice facility, but it's obsolete, and we got to keep up with the times. So we are getting ready to renovate it, put new wooden floors in, new bleachers. We're going to add additional 6,200 square feet for lockers and multi-purpose rooms for our students. I realized one day when I went to watch the basketball team, we got basketball player 6'10", and he was like just trying to take a shower because the shower's at a 5-something. So we got to keep up with the times. So these are the things we're doing. Now, what I like to do now is recognize Ann, and Ann will continue on.
Before I start, we brought a little bit, the dangerous clicker. We brought some information for you guys to have maps of the school.
Before you get started,
Okay.
I want to recognize you for what you're doing for
Thank you, sir.
You might want to tell us your last name too, because
I will.
We all know you as Ann, but maybe the community doesn't know you.
I'm Ann David, and I haven't volunteered in our public schools for a few years, and just finished being reappointed to the Board of Trustees for Cape Fear Community College, and I just want to thank the Board of Education for that privilege. I was filling out the first unfinished term of someone for 2 years and have been reappointed for a full term. And I want to let you know we are not, the folks that you have nominated have not been regular members. Mr. Turner is just stepped down as chair of our board, and I am currently have just been selected as vice chair of our board. Colonel Malia was chair of the curriculum committee, and as recently I've been appointed chair of the curriculum committee, and also I'm chair of the strategic planning committee. So we just don't sit back and become members. We take lead on your behalf and are so excited to help make the connection, not only for all the students that we have that do continue their education, but to make that connection with our New Hanover County students. The thing that we're most excited about now is the start of the new CTEC High School, and we certainly appreciate you all for bringing us in as a partner on that. We are offering what we felt was an underserved part of our community, students that may not have been equipped for a four-year education or that may not have been their interest or focus, now have the opportunity to jump right in and not only get their diploma to graduate from high school, but can graduate with certificates to jump right into the job market. Not only is that a huge benefit for our students, but it is such a great attraction for businesses in this county. The ones that we have here and the ones that we're trying to encourage to come, because they know we are constantly training our workforce. And these students can get out and make great wages that they may not have even considered. And that's one of the pieces of information I've given you guys. These are some of the programs that we offer and the wages that are currently being offered to some of these students. And the Vet Tech, the North Carolina annual mean for that is $30,000 for Vet Tech. And then cardiovascular sonography is $64,000. Some of these students that may have dropped out of high school and not even considered having jobs, much less careers, can now take that leap with CTEC. And we are currently offering just a small amount of these, but are in the process of applying, as you all know, for the Innovative, which will allow us to offer everything we offer at Cape Fear to our students, with the exception of the 21-year-old kind of gap there. There's some of the things we offer, like BLET, that you have to be 21. But these students can make that start step in that direction. So we are very proud of that. The other thing that I am really working for, and I think that there is such a need for, and that is to have recruiters or career coaches from Cape Fear in our high schools. Because I think there are so many students that just don't know what they can do, and they may not be in CTEC, but we want to let them know that once they finish, they have Cape Fear as an option. because they will have an opportunity to have a career and to be able to support their family and become active members in their community through everything we offer at Cape Fear. So we want to make that available to our students. So we are working very hard to make that happen. And I just want to thank you all again, and if you have any questions,
And can you talk about what a trustee does?
Sure.
Some folks may not know that.
Well, we have meetings once a month, and basically we approve curriculum, new programs like the Vet Tech program, and we're offering, coming up soon, I think it's this year, the engineering. We're offering now the introduction to engineering, so that students that are there can do an engineering class and then be able to transfer into a university for that as well. So that's a big thing that we do. We also look at all the expenditures that it takes to run the college. So that is something that we have to consider and approve of. And also approving of all the buildings that we build and making sure that there's a need. The really important thing that a lot of people don't understand about Cape Fear is that we have folks that watch the job market. They look at everything we teach and everything we offer, and they make sure that it aligns with what is out there and what is necessary. We don't want to be teaching and offering a job and have folks get involved in it, and then when they graduate, there's nothing out there for them. Our Con Ed folks especially work with businesses all over the county and all over the state to be sure when our kids graduate that there are jobs for them and they can step out and get going. If it looks like there's a career that is just not as hot as it used to be, then we tend to phase that out so that we're, as I said, not putting folks out there that are not going to have jobs, because that is the key. We want to make sure everyone has a viable career and a job once they graduate so they are ready to go. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen of the board, my name is John Melia. I'm a retired colonel from the U.S. Army, and then I taught high school in Brunswick County for 10 years after I retired from the Army. I was appointed by you in 2014 to fill out a term of Dr. Larry Clark, who went to Louisiana, if you remember, and I was reappointed by you in 2016, and I am very, very grateful for that reappointment. I want to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about our veterans at Cape Fear. Now you say, why are you talking to us about veterans? Well, you've got young men and women in the senior class this year who will probably be enlisting in one of the branches of the armed services after high school. But what we want you to know is that Cape Fear Community College is a veterans-friendly school. It has been since the veterans program was established there. We have over 600 veterans enrolled at Cape Fear Community College, most of them from the conflicts that have been going on for the past 16 years. We have centers downtown, on the North Campus, and soon at the Surf City campus. And these are permanently established. It isn't we're in this room this week and in that room next week. These are permanently established at North Campus. It's right next to the Port City Java. So the cadets are very the veterans are very happy about that. The director of our Veterans Center is a Marine combat veteran of the ongoing conflicts, who is also a graduate of Cape Fear Community College and the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. Our veteran centers, besides having the ever-present coffee pot, have a very nice lounge, a computer center strictly for the veterans, and on any given day when you go in there you will see men and women who talk the same language, sometimes quite salty. You'll see a service dog in there sitting on one of the lounge chairs right next to his or her masters. And it's an area where these men and women can be comfortable with each other in a setting where the people that they are with understand what they have experienced and what they have seen. We have veterans with prosthetics. We have veterans with PTSD. We have veterans with traumatic brain injury. We cover the gamut. But our veteran centers, I will stack up against any in the country, not just here in North Carolina. So the reason we're able to do these things is because of the support of the voters of New Hanover County, who have voted to tax themselves so that we can have these facilities and we can have veteran centers on our campus for these young men and women. The community college system across the board is a jewel, and the people in North Carolina who set up the community college system, they had a vision, and it's great to be part of fulfilling that vision. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I missed, you were telling what the total population of the school is and what the veteran population is. Could you repeat that?
We have over 600 veterans enrolled at the school, full-time students.
And how many students do you have at the school?
Over 23,000, but you have to remember that less than 1% of the population of the United States has ever served in the military. And that number is not getting any larger. It is rare today to have a family who has somebody in the military.
And I would just like to add what the Colonel's saying in that how pleased I am as a member of quite a few veterans organizations here in New Hanover County that Ray, the individual you're talking about, the young Marine, is doing a fabulous job as Cape Fear is doing. And in fact, tomorrow you're having a conference, a forum of the North Campus of Cape Fear. And I know one of the organizations I belong to, we've been invited to go up there and speak and answer questions that these young veterans might have as far as benefits that they're entitled to and other things that, you know, how other organizations can benefit them. So, you know, we're certainly well pleased that Cape Fear is as friendly as they are, because that's not true everywhere. So it's really outstanding that we have a school here that is that veteran friendly.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. You know, applying for veterans benefits is a real puzzle palace. And we have two very, very knowledgeable people who can talk about Title 31 and Title 32 and section of this of the Veteran Service Act. We're very, very blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, you want a picture so you can sit down?
Yeah. I think I might want to recognize you first.
You're very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board, and thank all the folks that are sticking around to hear the close of the meeting tonight and all the important things that will come before the board. My name is John Babb, and as you will recall, you appointed me a couple of years ago to be your representative on the board, and I must admit that all of us serve with as your representative to the best of our ability, and we're so delighted for the honor and the privilege of doing that. I would like to bring up, though, before you in your handout there, we keep talking about these great programs we have, and two things I would like to share with you. One, excuse me, the North Campus layout that you have before you in your handout. This is to help you guide yourselves around, because if you've not been to the North Campus recently, you won't recognize it. It's totally changed with the structure and with the programs going on out there. And I'd also like to give Dr. Lee up tonight, because if you need a tour, if you'd like specialized walk around, please contact her office, and she'll be delighted to assist you in making sure that you get the best view of what is going on in New Hanover County at Cape Fear Community College. And with that said, it was asked earlier about what we felt like serving on the board is. And I would like to share with you what John Babb's perspective is of serving as your representative on the board. We all face many, many challenges. The education and training of our students, the retraining, as we heard, about our businesses for their workers so we can keep those workers growing in their businesses. And also, we know about the partnerships. We've had partnerships with Cape Fear, with GE for a number of years now, and other companies, working with them, giving them specialized training. I would point out that specialized training does come at a cost because the companies actually reimburse the school for the training that we provide. So that's a cost neutral item there. And also, we're growing, as was mentioned about the Wilson Center, the gracious donations that were given, and the bond referendum that helped us build that facility. We're also growing the merits in the arts and entertainment area in our community for our citizens and improving the quality of life within our communities. There are some uncertainties that we all face in the education field, and I'd like to just outline 5 of them, what I believe are 5 uncertainties we all face. The changing economic developments that are going on in our communities, and the host of challenges that we all faced trying to stay up to speed on these things. The technology and the equipment associated with that technology as it changes. By the way, I hear today the new iPhone will be out in a month or 2. You may want to reserve one in about 30 days. It's the greatest thing since canned beer, I think. But there's an amplified need also on the 3rd item for quicker flexibility. We're finding in the education industry, as you well know, that our ability to adapt and be more flexible is encumbered by many rules, many regulations, and we're trying to work through those the same as you are. And then the last thing is to react properly and when we do apply our flexibility. Now, to what John is concerned about as far as our future. I'm very excited about our future at Cape Fear because what I see going on with our vision and a mission, just recently Ann David mentioned that she was the new vice chair, and she's also a chairman of the curriculum committee as well as the other activities here. One of her duties is to chair a committee that's taking on the mission and the vision statement. We're revising that, or we'll be revising it soon. She's challenged the committee members to meet with her at a later date, soon to be named, and we're supposed to give her ideas about where we think the vision and the mission is for our college today, as opposed to some years ago. And of course, CTEC was mentioned. Everyone's aglow about CTEC. Obviously, it's the best thing going now because it's going to allow our students in high school to come and garnish, and we talked about this when I was interviewed by you folks. I was a strong proponent for it then. I'm a very strong proponent for it now. And through the gracious work of many of you board members have come forward and helped us out, particularly Ms. Lisa Estep, working with Ms. David and all the other folks down there. And this will allow us, our students to grow and have apprentice programs with the businesses, industries that they want to go to work with and can go to work with after they're trained at Cape Fear. Another exciting thing is the advanced technology I mentioned. The iPhone is just one example. The technology that is going on, and it makes, as you know from your job, it makes your data collection and your analysis easier to work as a board member. That's what we do as well. We have to look at all the data, and I'm hopeful that the new decision-making process will move our board, like your board, more firmly to a data environment that will allow us to make better decisions as we go forward. And then the last 2 are the strategic plan we have at the college, and that is to continue to move forward. You've heard all these innovative things that we're doing. We'll continue to do those things on your behalf and on the citizens' behalf in New Hanover County and Pender County and our service area around the area. And then the last thing is the internal controls we've implemented. It was mentioned about the foundation raising money for our students. It was mentioned about the college being wise with the money that we're given through bond and through the state funding mechanism. We found that we needed to have better internal controls. So the college has gone forward with a in-depth review of the internal controls, changed a lot of them, improved them all, and we now have a better set of internal controls that will increase our efficiency and effectiveness to spend the money more wisely. And then the last thing I would like to share with you is my personal belief that of House Bill 135. I get a lot of puns about my bringing up of statutes and new laws and all, because I do read them for leisure time, and I do enjoy it because I like to keep up with what's going on. But as you know, House Bill 135, which changes the General Statute 115C to a greater encompassing item that affects you as the Board of Education and us as a community college. It breaks it down in 2 items, and I'll review for the record, if I may. The course of study statute changes the 2 areas that I feel are very, very good, 2 of the ones that I feel are very, very good. That's financial literacy. It was mentioned that with GE, they give out monopoly money to teach the students how to manage a budget in this little project that they're working on. That's a great tool to use, but we need to expand that. And this new revision allows financial literacy to be required in the curriculum in the county schools. A great plus when they reach the college level. And then from a personal standpoint, I mean a real personal standpoint, I will take exception to one item in this, and that's the sign language as a language course of study in the schools upcoming. As you all know, my son was born deaf, and my oldest son was born deaf, and we actually had to commute to Wilson every week and to pick him up on Friday and come back on Sunday because there were no skill sets here in the school system to allow him to stay at home and be schooled here. And of course, back in my day, being an early parent, homeschooling was not an item that was readily available to the parents. So sign language coming in, I would take exception though because it's going to be introduced as a foreign language curriculum. If they're going to teach American Sign Language, it seems like the American would be in there. So maybe foreign language is not the way for it to go, but that's just a personal item. Second item, career and technical education changes which will impact on the community college system. That is that the academic, career, and college readiness is going to be at the forefront to ensure our students are ready to go forward with whatever they want to do. And then the second item in the Cape Fear Community College or in the community college system is the course of study leading to career and college readiness. That's been spoken to over and over and over again. Some people want to go to college, some people want a career outside of college. The community college system stands as the gateway to allow either one of those to happen. Third item is the increased skill attainment and job placement. And this over and over again we hear about job placement. No one raises a child to be unemployed. They just don't do that. We all know that. We want them to all be employed and successful in whatever they choose to do. And then the last item is really important to you and I because it increases the link between you and I, meaning me being on the board of community colleges and the local school board system. Because what it does, the public schools under this new revision, under House Rule 135, the public schools will be charged to increase academic focus, and the community colleges will be refocused on job placement. So those are 2 key areas that I remember reading about in my leisure time. So thank you all, and thank you, Ms. Chair and board members. I would ask, do you have any questions? If not, I'll be seated. Thank you all, Mr. Chair.
Dr. Lee, would you like to come say anything? I have known her for, what, 20-some years?
I think it's been that long, I'm not that old.
Well, I'm sorry. But I mean, I spent 31 years at Cape Fear Community College, so I have a great appreciation.
And I am really only here for moral support, except I do want to share with you, just in case you are not aware, the relationship that we have with this board is very, very unique. The collaboration, the fact that we all know each other is a wonderful, wonderful gift, and it's not common among all of the counties in North Carolina. So I just want to thank you for that because it makes all of our education efforts much stronger across our county. So thank you.
Thank you. So we posted on our web. Thank you.
I think, Mr. Higgins, that the public needs to know too, when they were talking about the Wilson Center, that we were able to use it this past year for our Best Foot Forward production without any charge, and everything was very well adjusted to our needs. So that's a wonderful opportunity for the whole community.
Look forward to using it next year.
Yes, we will be using it twice.
Unlike unlike UNCW, who charges us for our graduation ceremonies at the UNCW campus, so Cape Fear Community College has been very cooperative with us, and we really appreciate it. The only way they could get any better is if they gave us discounted tickets to the Wilson Center.
That would be nice.
All right, well, next item on our agenda, administrative personnel, administrative recommendations. Dr. Markley.
All right, we have two sets of administrative recommendations. As you know, during the year, we often have a need for an interim administrator to fill in when somebody retires, moves on, or for illness. In the past, we've brought those to you individually. What I would like the board to do tonight is to approve a slate of candidates who could serve as interim administrators during the year, and it speeds up the process for us to get somebody in with those vacancies. If for chance there's somebody who's not on this list, we would bring them back to you individually. So I would request that with the following names: Chris Furr, Monica Goza, Matilda Gurley, Ivy Moraine, Carol Pina, Arlene Suggs, all former administrators of ours who have served as interims, be approved for interim administrators if needed during the 17-18 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved.
Appreciate it. Next, we have two assistant principal recommendations. It is my pleasure to recommend at Carolina Beach Elementary School Ann Tomjack. Ms. Tomjack is currently the reading coach teacher at Carolina Beach. She has taught at Carolina Beach and Freeman in the Tabernacle School District in New Jersey. Her administrative contract will be effective until June 30th, 2019. She has a bachelor's degree in elementary education from William Patterson University, New Jersey, and a master's degree in leadership studies from Gardner-Webb.
You've heard the recommendation. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved.
Hi, Mr. Tomjack, if you're here, please stand. Let the board recognize you. Who do you have with you?
My principal, Cindy Wartel, is here from Carolina Beach Elementary School. This is my husband, Mike Tomjack, so continuing support. And my grandmother's up and watching the two kids, so I think this is a nice little rarification for us. And then a fellow teacher, colleague, Blair Williams.
Oh. Very nice.
All right, we have a second assistant principal recommendation for Sunset Park Elementary. The recommendation is Ashley Seifers. Ms. Seifers is currently an assistant principal with Brunswick County. Previously has served as a teacher, school counselor, and intern in Buncombe County. Her contract will be effective until June 30th, 2019. She has a bachelor's degree in science journalism from Troy State in Troy, Alabama, a master's degree in school counseling from University of West Alabama, and a master's degree in elementary education from Converse College. Currently a doctoral program for administration with Bethany University at St. Paul, Minnesota.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved.
All right, Ms. Cephas, are you here? All right. And who is with you tonight?
I have also my principal, Mr. Lee Hockney, and then my husband, Kevin Siertoss, and my daughter, Brady, and my son, Michael.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that is the administrative recommendations.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is Head Start. Mr. Shell.
Can you hear me okay? We have 6 items on the agenda tonight, and they're all required. that you be exposed to it, and one of those 6 items requires your vote, and that's a written plan, and we'll save that to last. As background, Head Start is a federally funded program for 3 and 4-year-olds. And I asked Ms. Smiles today, what's the objective? And she said, how much time do you have? But it's amazing. It's fascinating to me, the difference that it makes for 3 and 4-year-olds to be able to be successful as they migrate into the later years. And we've been very fortunate with our program. This budget is approximately $2 million. It's supported by approximately $500,000 in indirect costs from the school system. So when you look at Head Start alone, that's what you have. And New Hanover County School System inherited this program 3 years ago, and I'm serving as the liaison to talk about it for this, the 3rd year. So I'd like to ask you to remember a number, if you will. That number is 857. So our umbrella is bigger than Head Start. We have 857 children that we serve for 3 and 4-year-olds, 857. And that number is made up of 260 in the Head Start program, which we're going to focus on in a second. I was trying to give you some broader perspective. And then 597 that are covered by state and local dollars. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So let's move into item C, which you have here, which on your agenda is the first of 6 items. And you can, this is a report that we give you monthly, and it talks specifically about the numbers. And these 2 numbers up here of 3 and 4-year-olds adds up to 260, which is what we have at Johnson Preschool. We were fortunate this year that the county commissioners supported another 45 children, and North Carolina Pre-K through the state legislature supported another 22. So our waiting list has gone down, and that's good news for us. We're serving more children, making a bigger difference. This report goes into the mix of children. I'm not going to go through that. It's all there for you online to pull up. Those numbers haven't changed an awful lot, except this waiting list has gone down. One of the items, though, that we do need to mention is that 100% of the parents in the Head Start program were participated in orientation. And educators will tell you you're more successful if your parents are involved and they're part of that. I'm pleased to hear about that. There's also conscious discipline, which you'll hear more about next month. But that's something that has been implemented and is making a difference in the way that educators communicate with children and try to avoid flare-ups and keep things on an even keel so they can be successful in the classroom. We have Coastal Horizons now offering mental health at Johnson, and we have an annual licensing visit coming up September the 12th at Johnson. So if we can move into the next item, which is the expenditure report, Appendix D. Head Start is a April 30 year end, different than what we operate under. So what we have is 3 months We've only spent 15%. We're 25% through the year, through July, which is this is reporting. There's nothing exciting, dramatic about this, but we are required to show you that expenditure report, and we are under budget at this time. So we can go to, unless there's a question, we'll go to item E, which is a performance indicator report. That was fairly new to me as I looked at that. It's a report that talks in terms of what Head Start does and the children that are being served from the standpoint of health insurance, immunizations, and dental. Head Start also has a partnership with the health department. And the thing to point out with this is that there is a high percentage of children that are covered by the insurance and the programs, the dental that we offer. At the very end of this report, Ms. Brinson, it also speaks to the credentials of the folks that are teaching. And as you can see, 100% in terms of classroom teachers that meet the credential requirements of the federal program under Head Start. And that speaks to the quality of what these children are receiving. So the next item is F, which is a community report. Again, all of these are required for you to see and to be exposed to. And you can certainly look at all of that. I thought what jumped out at me on this particular item was this box right here. And as we started out, what was that number I asked you to remember?
857.
You're good. And we're serving children with Head Start, NC Pre-K, in the public side, and then 216 slots in the private side. And then we get some Title I funding in there as well to make it all come together and work. And I think it's nice for the citizens to see how that all comes together. And then we have in-kind or non-federal money that comes from the staff and energy of folks that in the school system that support the people that are directly on the line doing that. It might also be worthwhile as you folks look into this and look at this report. You can see the screenings for medical exams and dental exams, developmental screening, hearing. There's a mental health component involved in all of that. From a partnership standpoint, we've got university and community college, private care centers, local high schools, local elementary schools. All of that comes together to make us successful in what we do. And then if we go to Appendix H instead of G, which is it's really just a calculation. It's not very exciting, but it basically says that of the money that we spend, that we do have some skin in the game. And that's what I talked about with the approximately $500,000 that comes from staff, utilities, technology, you can see here, maintenance, heating and air, and then et cetera. And all of that is spent out over the 12 months and will more than meet the requirement that the federal government has for us. And then the last item, which is the item that requires a vote, is written plans. And my 2 cents on maybe a quarter's worth on the written plans is that when you look at what Head Start requires and you look at what's at stake with these children, it's important that we know what we're doing. And so what this incredible staff have done is put together these written plans, which are procedures that impact operations, transportation, nutrition, health, recruitment, enrollment, mental health, performance standards, and then the big thing that we're always asked about is child outcomes. So how are the children being impacted by what we're providing? How do we measure that? And they've put together an 87-page document that you're voting on tonight. I know you've read it. So I'd like to turn it over to Shannon Smiles and ask her if she could speak briefly on the written plans, and certainly we'll take any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shell. Well, you did a lovely job there. I feel like my work is done. Written plans tonight is an action item for Head Start grant. Written plans are from section 1304, 1308 in your performance standards. We're required to develop written plans describing services, implementation of services for early childhood education, early childhood development, health services, family engagement, community partnerships, program design, management, and governing board. So these written plans, really 87 pages with cover, embedded, and they actually are the blueprints from your Head Start performance standards on how we're going to carry out the services. They're written narrative descriptions, the strategies and activities that we use to maintain high-quality services to our families and our children, and to achieve the goals and objectives outlined within the Head Start performance standards and New Hanover County Schools policy and procedures. In these plans, they include protocols, calendars, descriptions, strategies, person responsible for carrying out the strategy, evidence, timelines, and how we do our reporting, as Mr. Shell stated. These plans must be reviewed and approved annually by the governing board and our policy council, and revised and updated as needed. So I'm asking before the board tonight if we could have a motion of approval of these written plans for 17-18 school year.
So moved.
Second.
And I would just like to add, Mr. Shell, that if you take the 87-page report here, put a 5 in the middle, guess what number you have?
Tell me.
857.
We thought about going through every page of the written report, but we didn't. I'm kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I just
think we
say
will.
that Ms. Miles is probably the only one that could summarize this 87 report with expression. You can tell she's doing the job she was born to do.
Thank you.
Because she gave that.
Thank you.
With it was great, actually.
Thank you very much.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Does anyone have any questions? If not, all those in favor of adopting this plan signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is adopted. Thank you. I have been asked to take a short break, so we will.
How short is short?
Well, I don't know. If you take too long, I'll hustle you back.
Ms. Adams, forget us, yeah.
But we will take a short break.
Put Ms. Adams in charge of
She'll
that.
get us.